opening this up and just being like, wow, this is a figure that's going to stand out on my display shelf. This is a figure that people are going to look at. It's going to draw their eye to. I have to admit it. This is one of the most well done figures I've seen in a long time. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cool Figures channel, and today we are going to be taking a look at the brand new McFarlane Toys Gunslinger Spawn. But first, if you're new, then welcome. This channel is all about cool action figures, analyzing them, hunting them, taking pics of them, and of course, playing with them. I upload new videos constantly throughout the week, so make sure you hit that bell icon so you stay notified when I do upload new content. And if you guys want to support the channel in any way, all I ask is that you guys watch my videos from start to finish, as well as go ahead and hit that like button, guys, if you are enjoying the content. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. It is a very small goal of mine to try to reach at least one new subscriber per new video that I put out, so please be my one new subscriber for this video. Thank you so much in advance. As always, the information on the channel is intended for adult collectors and not children. I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector, and before we get into this, I just want to say thank you so much to this channel sponsor, V-Rare Store. Check them out for all your Funko Pop, anime, and Pokemon card needs. V-Rare Store, and use code COOLFIGURES at checkout for 10% off your order, guys. Once again, V-Rare Store. But with that all out of the way, guys, let's go ahead and jump right on into this review of the brand new McFarlane Toys Target exclusive Gunslinger Spawn. Now, I know in my weekly podcast I told you guys I was going to be bringing you the Suicide Squad wave this week, and do not worry, I am still going to be bringing you guys those figures. So you guys are either going to get 2 videos today, or when I do the King Shark version. Well, yeah, when I do the King Shark Build-A-Figure, or another day. I'm not too sure quite yet as I'm filming this video, so we'll all find out together, I guess. But with that all out of the way, let's go ahead and get on into this review. And I will be front and center about this. I know absolutely nothing about Spawn, but let me tell you, after getting this figure, I do want to know a lot about Spawn. In fact, I actually looked up the comic book that this guy was actually based off of, and you know, on YouTube as a reading, just real quick to do some reference and history and research on him, so I don't sound like too much of a nobody on this subject. And it was actually really interesting to the point where it actually made me want to go out and buy some Spawn comics and you know, actually become a real fan of this figure. Now, the reason I did buy this figure is, of course, because look how cool it looks. It is just a really cool figure, and it does scale well with a lot of figures that we have in your collection, most likely, especially DC Multiverse. I find that he does scale well with the NECA Turtles, and a few other things. So you can definitely throw this guy in different places, and especially if you are a Spawn fan, you know, this is definitely one to pick up. I have seen photos and videos of the original Gunslinger Spawn that McFarlane Toys released originally, and it was more of a statue. I think the arms did move up and down and were slightly articulated, but the legs were totally set in place. So, you know, this is definitely an upgrade from that, because this thing is very articulated, and as you can see just from the way he's standing, the way he's holding his hat, he looks amazing because of all the separate different articulation that he has. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at all the accessories that this guy comes with. He comes with a few accessories. He, of course, comes with a stand, and unlike the DC Multiverse, it doesn't say DC, of course, it just says Spawn, because this is obviously Tom McFarlane's own creation and not a DC property. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at 3 other things. Technically, he comes with 4 things. He does come with a pair of revolver pistols, so that is 2 of the accessories that we're going to be taking a look at right now. If I can get it out of his hand without him dropping. Yep. So he does come with a pair of revolvers, as you can see, and I think they're nicely done, especially since revolvers are just a plain silver. But not just that, he went all out, and even on the hilt, you can see he sculpted a little skull on there. So that is really cool and really detailed for what you get. I believe this figure was $24.99. So you should be hitting targets soon, since pre-orders are being fulfilled right now. So as you can see, it does have like that little skull on both sides. So it's a lot of little detail on this little gun. I can't tell if there's like little writing on there, but yeah, it's a really nicely done gun. So you do get 2 of these, so I'm only going to show you that one. So let's go ahead and pull him forward real quick so I can pull the rifle out from the rifle sheath. And he is a very tall figure, but he does scale well with certain figures. I'm just going to go ahead and throw him onto the stand now that you guys have seen the stand, so that way I'm not fumbling around with him, and I can show you guys all the cool things he comes with. So he does come with this awesome Winchester rifle, but as you can see, it is a very bendy plastic. But like I said, I did do a little research on the old McFarlane toys, and feel like he's gone in this direction so they're not so breakable and so easily broken and whatnot. It is nicely molded and nicely done with the nice wood painting. It does not look that bad. It looks pretty decent. So I can't complain. I wish there was a little more accent painting and whatnot on this rifle, obviously, but for what it has, it does have a nice molding skull and flames right there, as you can see, as well as some other nice detailing right there. So this is more of the bendy part right here. It is a little more flexible down here, but it is thicker plastic. But other than that, as you can see, it does have a slight bend to it, so that's the only thing. But it is, the other good thing to it is that if it drops, it's not going to snap in half and break, and you're going to be out of a whole main accessory for your figure. You know what I mean? The hat is not removable, unfortunately. I wish the hat was, but unfortunately it is not. He does come with this rifle sheath as well. But once you get it on there, guys, it is very hard to get it off, and you don't want to be putting this on and taking it off, because I feel like this little thin strap where it gets thin right here will definitely eventually snap off if you try to, constantly put it on. Whoops, sorry guys, constantly put it on and take it off. So I suggest you putting it on and leaving it there. It does go over the right shoulder. I made the mistake of putting it on the left shoulder, which is why I'm telling you it's a hassle to get it off, especially with this high collar right here, as you can see. So there's times where I just wanted to actually just leave it because I felt like I was pulling it a little too much and I was afraid it was going to snap. So just be very careful with that. Like I said, it does thin out right here at the very bottom. It's a little thicker up here, but right here I feel like it can snap. So it goes over the right shoulder if you want to just put it on right the first time. So with that being said, guys, since we already have him up forward, let's go ahead and take a closer look at him. I'll let you guys take a look at the sheath first, and so that's what we were talking about. It is nicely sculpted, nicely detailed. I like how it has these little nice patches sculpted in, a little belt, to tie it in, or to make it look like it's tied in. I do wish they would have at least painted the belt right there, maybe the silver buckle. The pockets could have stayed brown, or it could have gone either way for me on the pockets, but definitely the buckles of the belts, I feel like they should have done silver, and maybe the actual belts should have been blacks, just to define them a bit and separate them from the rest of the whole sheet for the rifle. So with that being said, since we have them forward already, let's go ahead and continue getting a closer look at this Spawn figure. So as you can see, he is definitely very menacing looking. Menacing looking. And like I said, the hat is not removable, but it is very nicely detailed and whatnot. There is so much to look at this figure, and that's why I absolutely wanted it and absolutely love it already, despite not even being in the franchise. But it is making me want to be into the franchise and go research and see more stuff and whatnot, and learn more about Spawn, because there's just so much to look at. I can remember just opening this up and just being like, wow, this is a figure that's going to stand out on my display shelf. This is a figure that people are going to look at. It's going to draw their eye to, because it's so unique, so detailed, so well done. I have to admit it. This is one of the most well done figures I've seen in a long time. It does have its issues standing, I'm not gonna lie, especially on non-hard surfaces, but that's for most characters and figures. But for the most part, as you saw when I was moving him around and everything, he does stand pretty well. But he also does come with a nice little Spawn stand, so he does help as well. But other than that, let's keep taking a look at him. And as you can see, he does have this nice little double gun belt coming across right here. His arms do have these nice little gauntlets right here with a bunch of little spikes. As you can see, they are soft, so you aren't going to be poking yourself too much with them. These ones are a little more tougher and thicker, so you might poke yourself a bit with those, but not too bad. But just look at all the lines and the wrinkles in the coat and whatnot. It is just nicely done, nicely sculpted. It is just amazing what he can do with plastic. So moving down to his legs, he does have a belt and a knife, some extra, I don't know if those are magazines, because those guns don't carry magazines, they carry bullets. Like literally the revolver, you have to the single bullets that you put in, it's not a magazine. And same thing with the Winchester rifle, you have to single load those shells. So I don't know what exactly these pockets would be for, but he does have a knife here, and it is pretty sculpted well, as you can see. It does have some nice sculpting to it. It is not removable, unfortunately. I wish it was. He does have another belt pockets right here, which is pretty cool because, you know, it's just even more storage for, you know, superhero stuff or anti-hero stuff as he is. He does come with some really cool cowboy boots, and I have to admit, I like boots. I used to wear boots all the time, and in fact, I'm actually sponsored by a boot company, so if you ever want some nice boots, check out Legend Footwear and use code Jesse M Legend. I believe it's all linked up in my bio. But with that being said, let's continue on with this review. I absolutely love the boots on this guy. As you can see, they're classic cowboy boots. You get the spurs, you get the spikes on the top, you get that nice brown cowboy leather. So with that being said, guys, that is a basic overview look at this new Spawn. Oh, actually on this side, instead of having spikes, he actually has skulls on his arm. As you can see skulls here, spikes here. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy's articulation. So he can look all the way to the right, all the way to the left. He can look down pretty significantly. If I move his collar out of the way, you can see how far down he looks. He can look up somewhat decently, not too much, basically just straight back at you at that point. His arms do go all the way out. Now I will say his arms are a little loose, but they do stay out, and they do hold their not their shape, but their position wherever you put it. So but they do feel a little loose, as you can see, at least that one, but even this one's a little loose, but like I said, it still holds its position, so no worries there. So they do rotate 360 right there. You do get 360 rotation at the bicep, double hinge elbow joints, which gives you a lot of great articulation, rotation at the wrist, and his movement is hindered by just the thickness of this gauntlet and the piece of armor on his wrist. I really wish the piece of armor on his wrist was a separate piece, because I feel like it would give the wrist a little more articulation, but I feel like that's more of a NECA type of thing and not a McFarlane thing, you know. So, and if you have the NECA TMNT 1990s foot soldiers, you should know what I mean. But if you don't, they have these little bracelet gauntlets on them that are separate pieces and allows for more movement in the wrist. So that's why I'm like kind of thinking about when I'm talking about this guy having this other piece that's on top of his hand as a separate piece, so that his hand can get a little more articulation. But continuing on with this articulation, guys, because I like to ramble, you do get a little rotation at the top right there, as well as at the bottom. Ab crunch goes not too far down. Sorry, guys. He can bend back pretty decently. He can take a stand off. He can join the cheerleading squad. Look at that. He does have a thigh swivel at the very, very top. So as you can see right there, more so in his right leg than his left leg, but he does have it. He will kick out pretty far, pretty much all the way forward. He'll kick back that far. He does come with double hinge knees, so he can go all the way back, as you can see right there. And looking at his ankle articulation, it goes that far down, that far up, and of course ball rocker joints. Oh, and of course the McFarlane toe articulation right there. So all in all, a very good figure. I absolutely love it. Like I said, not a fan of Spawn, not because I don't like Spawn, just I've never really read Spawn, been into Spawn, seen anything Spawn, but this figure definitely makes me want to be into Spawn and, you know, get into all that stuff. But I will definitely be using him for a lot of crossover picks and whatnot. I look forward to it. It will be a lot of fun. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at some really cool pics I took of this guy, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so real quick before we take a look at those pics, while I was editing, I totally forgot to mention these things while I was doing my review, and that is that his hands don't really sit too, or his hands don't really sit too well in his hands. His guns don't really sit too well in his hands. They are kind of loose, so I feel like he did that so you don't scratch up the guns too much, but in doing so, he doesn't hold them too well. As you can see, it looks very loose. You can get him in position. It takes some time, but if you just do that, it's going to fall out pretty easily. And even with the rifle, it's very difficult to get him into a decent shooting position, only because of the lack of articulation in the wrist because of that gauntlet. But you can still do it. So let's go ahead and try and do it real quick so you guys can see how it's done. Go ahead and put the gun in his hand. Get that finger into the trigger hole. And let's see, I like to preset the hand. Oops, see? And it keeps constantly falling out of the hand while I'm doing this too. Mind you, I am doing this with my arms extended because I have the camera in front of me, but still, I was having this much difficulty while I was by myself doing this in a decent position while I was doing the picks for this guy. So it's not just this moment and how I'm holding him, it's just this figure. As you can see, as soon as I get it in, it slips out. So just the fact that he has limited articulation and mobility in that wrist, it really hinders the ability to get this rifle in position. But it is doable. There we go. It is doable. As you can see, he can hold it with two hands like he's aiming down the sights. Not too good looking from straight down, but from the sides, you can get it better. I can get it better, but as you can see, it's a bit of a struggle, but you can get it better the longer you mess with it. So I just wanted to throw that in before we take a look at the picks. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at those picks, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed those pics, you can find the full images over on Instagram at CoolFigures. And I do have a separate Instagram account for my more thought out, planned out, more edited pics called Epic Shots by CoolFigures. Check it out. If you like what you see, leave me a follow there as well. And if you guys want to see the unboxing of this figure or any of the other toys that I do reviews on this channel, go ahead and check me out on TikTok at CoolFigures. That's where I do all my unboxings, because when I get a new toy, I am like a child and I cannot wait to open it. So I don't wait to set up my YouTube studio. I just do it all on TikTok real quick on my phone. So check me out at CoolFigures. And once again, I just want to say thank you so much to this channel sponsor, VRare Store. Check them out for all your Funko Pop, anime, and Pokemon card needs. And of course, use code CoolFigures at checkout for 10% off. VRare Store. But with that being said, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys. But whether or not you're a subscriber, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to me talk about toys. I really do appreciate it. As always, I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.